working, that's double E. Cause I need your eyes on me. Cause once I get my feet in this end zone, no one can STOP. Can I make a scene like a movie, feeling big, keep it juicy before we start getting unruly. I've been hooping like a hoolie, keep it coolie before I stuff you in a locker like a bully. Like a bully. Put in the work, you can see my fingernail dirt. I'm the last one to leave, even when I come first. And you might want it bad, but I'm sure I want it worse. I'ma do it cause I love it, I'ma love it till it hurts. What's the worst that can happen, Captain? I'm strapped in, no I'm not crazy, I'm just tapped in. Hungry like I'm fasting, I'm about that action, no slacking. Well I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, cause here come the pain. No one to call up for help, no one to blame but yourself. You should've known better, however you did it, so we had to come ring your bell. Like I need a award, wait until I score, make it rain till it pour. I'm a dog on force, put in work like a chore till I'm underneath the floor.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL on this fine afternoon brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland and M&T Bank Stadium. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. Jackson, first play, going to throw. And his first look is incomplete.
Oh, I saw this one with defensive eyes because even as he escaped the pocket and bought time, the coverage stayed tight. Nothing broke down. Throwing it away, that was his only option.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. A man who missed all of 2021. This is J.K. Dobbins. Always got some breathing room. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 31 yards there and a first down. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung him.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage and anybody could run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids' table.
Okay, so front side guys, good. Yeah. Backside guys,
man,
that's what you're supposed to do?
I've had better.
Okay, either way, worked out quite well, didn't it? A nice sizable gain.
And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On second down, a run with Dobbins. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. On third down, Jackson. That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted.
Well, short of them returning it for a pick 6, that was about the worst start you could ask for in this one because your advantage of getting the ball first is gone, and they're set up a short distance from your end zone. Now you're counting on your defense to prevent a touchdown, and your offense, you better be ready to come out swinging on the next series.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. On the counter now, it's Sanders. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. And this guy can be everywhere. Kyle Hamilton getting there to drop him for a loss. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. They'll go again with Sanders. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Dancing to his left. This is caught. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Well, we knew he was close to the line of scrimmage, and they say he stepped over.
Well, when you see him in that position, you think he's become a runner. As a DB, you start to react towards the line of scrimmage. They can often throw it over your head.
Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. That's taken in by Duvernay. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. The Ravens had 0-1 in the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road, but now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that because...
And they're going to get him. He's sagged back around the 28. Bradley Chubb doing what he does best, getting that sack.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens.
No, we changed it.
They'll look to throw here. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here at their own 23.
And partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
38, check right.
They start on the ground here at Sanders. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
On play action, here's Tua. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Gotta give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. They'll get this complete to the Notre Dame man, Equinemius St. Brown. A real let down defensively. That was third and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Slot man moves right. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. He'll get this to about the 38. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Better than a 30-yard gain as we wind down towards 30 seconds left in the quarter.
He was not the primary target. They expected to get the ball downfield. Instead, checked it down. An old coach of mine used to say to us all the time, when they check it down, that should end the down. In this case, though, he foiled that in a big way and turned it into a big play.
They go back to the ground with Sanders. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Miles Sanders, his first touchdown of the new season, as his guys are able to extend their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead grows to 10-0. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the Plague did on the last one.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Jackson now. Looking deep downfield. Oh, for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And the Dolphins are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for them. That's now 3 interceptions. But, Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go to the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
48 yards on the ground for him so far. A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield, but now it'll be third down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Up the middle they go with Sanders. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Not at all what they envisioned on third down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on fourth down. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So that his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off Byron Jones. And the Dolphins are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. I mean, 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it.
He's got a man, complete. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
You'd think defenses might be a little more prepared for plays like this because so many offensive coordinators, when they get the ball after a turnover, they do like to dial up a deep ball right away. And if I were a defensive coordinator in this league, that's exactly what I would say to my defense.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Miles Sanders, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes our score 17-0. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. This will be fielded inside the 5. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. To throw is Jackson. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. It's a big play, yet amazingly, because of how far they had to go, they're still looking at a 2nd down here.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out.
And my goodness, another interception. .157 to go in this first half on EA Sports. Now 1st and 10 at the 11. After the turnover, it's Tua. And that's complete to Sanders. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And once again, this is Sanders. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them.
And he is going to go down back at the 11-yard line. Credit that sack to Travis Jones. The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. Well, Charles, I think you'd have to call that a win for the defense after the turnover already in field goal range, and they had to settle for 3.
Yeah, Bean, the beautiful part is you start so close to the end zone that your thought process on offense has to loosen up a little bit because you're thinking to yourself, you're almost guaranteed 3. Let's take some good shots at the end zone and try and turn it into 6.
And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And with a 3-score deficit staring him in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They'll roll him out right. And he'll be forced out of bounds shy of the line of scrimmage, so that'll be credited as a sack. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
So when the defense complains about having to do pursuit drills in the heat of training camp, plug in this play. Excellent pursuit. Force the quarterback out of the pocket. He ends up trying to run for it. Instead, he goes out of bounds and loses yardage. That goes down as a sack.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. And this returnable for Hill. A good return there, 17 yards. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half.
Ready. Fight,
They'll run with Sanders up the middle. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary, all of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
Tua, the final shot before half. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. Jalen Waddle as time expires in the first half. And the Dolphins would extend their lead here just before halftime. Sanders now to add the extra point. And that stretches the lead to 27. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Okay, ready?
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains.
He's been patient this entire game, waiting for the perfect moment to surprise them with a quarterback keeper. There he catches him off guard and converts his first rush of the game into a first down.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Oh, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
That's going to be caught by Waddle. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Now Tua. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So no problems moving the ball in the first half, but they'll likely come up empty here on drive 1 of quarter 3.
And it was so important for the defense to get that stop because what we witnessed in the first half was them getting run over. And they needed the confidence, and they needed to get off the field so they felt good going forward in this game.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and that will come the offense as they take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. Let's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
And now here is another interception. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to
the Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Now it's Jackson. Open man is Duvernay. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain there of 21 yards. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Now Jackson. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. Looking to throw again on second down. Jackson, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Emmanuel Ogbah that time, able to drop him for a loss. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. Another run here with Dobbins. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Jackson going to find his running back here. It's Dobbins. And he's going to get this down near the 25. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Real quick, man. You gotta make a move.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. On 2nd and 12, Jackson slings it to Anders, and it's complete. The tight end has it. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And he appears to be about 2 feet short on 3rd and 3. Leaves him with a 4th and 1. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. The Ravens go for it, but come up empty. And the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. So they finally get their first trip to the red zone, and it ends with nothing.
And that's what I'm going to focus on with you, because you teed it up really well. Finally get to the red zone. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration because they haven't moved the ball as well as they wanted to all game. Now they get there, but we got to go for it because we don't know if we can get back here again. We don't know how many opportunities because they've been sputtering a little bit.
Absolutely. At this stage in the second half, to get there and not get it for the first time, tough.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He's got a man, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That gain on 3rd down, good for 28. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers.
Here we go. Here we go.
To throw again on 2nd down. Tua. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Well, up big here in the 4th quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points, but they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
Striker, 3-3.
They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Brandon, unfortunately, I've been here before. They've had 2 opportunities to stop them, so this is demoralizing. They haven't gotten it done. Now you're calling all your blitzes, all your attack defenses, but you're not worried about playing your normal position. You're going to take chances now.
Well, you said it. 2 3rd down opportunities to get off the field. Couldn't do it, and the clock continues to roll. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And now a fumble. The ball's out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. But one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
Ready. Fight, 97. Black shot.
From the gun, it's Tua. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Sanders on for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the fourth quarter. And a big deficit, Charles, but they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board? So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Open man is Bateman. It's complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Play action. Now Jackson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 47 yards. And Jackson throwing once more. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. A gain of 7 that time. Second goal. Here's Jackson to throw. And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game. Third and goal, trying to make that scoreboard at least a little more respectable. One last shot for Jackson. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. Justin Tucker for the extra point. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Igbenogany elects not to return it. The football will come out to the 25-yard line.
Set, ready. Smith, rest.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down for a nice little gain.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends.